The United States has spent $1.4 billion to stop HIV in African countries. However, the way that they spent that money was specifically on abstinence education, which, as we all know, doesn't really work out that well. So in the past 12 years, the U.S. spent more than $1.4 billion funding abstinence programs in Africa. Now, the $1.4 billion that was allocated for this program was actually part of a more comprehensive program that also focused on aiding those who have AIDS with certain drugs to save their lives. But in order to get this type of plan or this type of package passed within Congress, of course, you had to appeal to Republican lawmakers. And the only way to do that is to provide 1/3 of the funding, which ended up being $1.4 billion, for abstinence education. Now, there was a study done on this program and whether or not it worked, and it was published in Health Affairs. And the researchers found that, would you look at that? The federal government wasted $1.4 billion on an abstinence program that did not work. Okay. Now, providing aid to these individuals and making sure that they get the treatment that they need, of course, is incredibly important. But if you want to talk about prevention, the best way to do it is not to encourage people to abstain from having sex. The best way to do it is to give them certain protective methods to prevent the spread of HIV and AIDS.
What part, first, Republicans who get to claim that they're fiscally conservative, enough.
Yes.
Enough. I don't know what. I mean, it's vintage that it happened under George Bush, the most fiscally irresponsible president maybe that we've ever had in the United States. Right, but Bernie Sanders is the one with the dangerous economic plans. Donald Trump's plans, as we know, would wreck the economy. Mm-hmm. But so, I mean, so it's $4.2 billion. You had to use you had to waste $1.4 billion of it. Okay, so don't turn it over to extra education or extra. Just keep it. Just keep it. Keep it. We'll keep it. We'll keep it.
Yes.
And only spend $2.8 billion. But you wasted it when you know that there has not been one abstinence plan anywhere in the world that has ever worked, because human beings like to have sex. They enjoy each other's company. It brings them together. It's not gross. It's not disgusting. It's intimate, and it's a great connection, and it's meaningful to people, and it's in our goddamn DNA. And that is so painfully obvious, and yet here we go spending $1.4 billion so you'll feel better Sunday. It's nonsense, and that we again let them get away with this as a country. There's no specific person responsible for letting them get away with this. We're all responsible for having a crazy conversation about whether abstinence works. Education works. It's why we've succeeded. It's why this country grew. We had a renaissance. We had a reformation. We educated ourselves. We grew. We get smarter. We went to the moon. We do these great things. We learned. And one thing I think we've learned is that human beings at a certain point are going to have sex with each other. So now that we know that diseases can be communicated that way, let's, for the love of God, prevent those diseases. You don't prevent them with abstinence. We know it. We know it. We know it. We know it.
Now, Bush didn't only allocate funds for abstinence education abroad. He, of course, did it in the United States as well. And of course, those funds were wasted. So there was a defunding of comprehensive sex ed in the United States under the Bush administration, and of course, the funding of abstinence-only education under the Bush administration. And what we noticed in the country during that time was that unwanted pregnancies among teen pregnancies, most of them are unwanted anyway, skyrocketed, right? So when Obama came into office, he looked at the numbers and he's like, yeah, this isn't so smart. And so he switched things up and focused more on comprehensive sex ed, which of course is much more effective. So I'll give you two examples of states that are very different from one another when it comes to this policy. You have Mississippi that of course only believes in abstinence-only education. Teen pregnancy is extremely high in Mississippi. I believe it still is the state that has the highest rate of teen pregnancies. New Hampshire, on the other hand, believes only in comprehensive sex ed. They have the lowest rate of teen pregnancy in the country.
But there are all kinds of, yes, I have no doubt that that's true. There are all kinds of examples where you compare states or counties or school districts that are close to each other, that have the same demographics, and it'll be different. But of course it's true, and who does it penalize the most? The least educated, the poorest, the people with the least access to the information and the least access to the prevention of teen pregnancies. So, and in a state where it's virtually impossible to get an abortion, of course.
Yes,
Whereas
yeah.
New Hampshire, I'm sure it's totally possible. Just going to Boston for crying out loud. Every block there's an abortion clinic in Boston.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Are they near schools?
Oh my God, those kids. You know, it's just mind-boggling to me. Here's what else we know. Here's the other study, because we know that those kids, remember when, I think it was during the Bush administration, those kids who took the vow of chastity,
Yes.
those kids kept getting pregnant.
Yep.
Because, and it's obvious why you don't need a study, because at the moment they were like, oh wait, I like this guy, I want to have sex. I'm using a girl, for example. And then what were they embarrassed to do? They felt shame. So they couldn't do what a kid who was better adjusted, better educated, and hadn't taken a dumb, pointless vow of chastity, they would have gone to the drugstore. And they would have bought a condom, which protects them against disease and protects them against pregnancy. But they don't, because they felt shame. I can't go to the drugstore. I can't be seen in the drugstore. I can't do any of those things because I've taken this vow. So now I'm going to get exposed as a liar. So here's what I'm going to do. Because I'm human, I'm going to have sex anyway, and I'm going to pray. And I don't mean literally pray, but actually, I guess maybe I do mean literally pray.
Yeah.
But I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm just going to hope, and pray that I don't get pregnant or I don't get sick. It's so dumb. And and these are our kids, man.
They are our kids. And look, I can't emphasize how important it is to have organizations like Planned Parenthood that go to schools and offer comprehensive sex ed. When I was in high school, that was what I had access to. We had members of Planned Parenthood come to our middle school and high school and talk to us about all of our different options, talk about human anatomy. A lot of teenagers right now in red states don't even understand the basics of human anatomy or the reproductive system because it's something that the educators refuse to talk about.
I'm sure it's true in blue states too.
I'm
sure it's worse, but when I was in freshman in high school, so you're 14 and 15 years old, second semester, so a lot of kids had already turned 15, right? Second semester, freshman year, teacher named Rob Taylor, and he would write he was so nervous teaching it that his blackboard writing would get totally unintelligible. You know, he'd write sex ed, it would just get, but so he had us put questions in to read to the class anonymously. He'd be like, ask a question and I will get this. So it's smart, because the kids aren't embarrassed. And I went to a ritzy DC private school. I mean, it didn't play ritzy. It was the first integrated private school in DC. Kids had ripped jeans and called teachers by their first names. We had a lot of kids on scholarship. But it was it cost a ton of money now. It cost a lot of money then. It cost a ridiculous amount of money to go then. So these were, what I'm getting at, these are educated kids. Many of those kids had been there throughout. These are kids with access to information. These are kids, for the most part, that came from two-parent households, frequently with both parents working. These are kids with, and the questions were like, at 15, can I get pregnant from oral sex? Now, if kids don't know, you know why? They're dumb, and we need to educate. Like, that's a dumb question.
They're not dumb, they're ignorant.
Right,
they just don't know.
I'm saying it's a dumb question because, it's a dumb question when you think about it. But if they don't know, they don't know.
Right.
So teach them. Teach them. Don't let them not know, because then they'll think, oh, I won't get pregnant if we do this. And our fear of information, we know education's valuable about everything else.
Yeah.
We know we got to teach more science. Not that science. That science we leave out. It's Victorian, it's silly, it's pointless, it's destructive to children, and ultimately destructive to us as a country.
Absolutely. When we do our post-game show for our members today, I actually want to talk about how Planned Parenthood saved me when I was a teenager. I think stories like that are important. I want to share it with you guys. It's a super personal story, but I think that there's some good that comes out of talking about it. So if you're a member, please check that out. If you're not a member and you want to help support our show and get access to exclusive members-only content, you could do so by going to tytnetwork.com/join. We love our members. You guys help us do what we do, and we really appreciate it.